person I am. Can only bring blood in the mold of a promise. she asks of you is to remember these conversations, and maybe selfishly, this smile.
This was Tejan when our counterattacking forces breaking out of their Pusan bridgehead retook the town, what there was of it. Tejan was razed, leveled, for Manila or Warsaw. These men, women, and children were not killed accidentally in the heat of battle. They were murdered, cold-bloodedly, deliberately. Butchered to spread terror, to warn the survivors that if you didn't let the communist monster swallow you alive, he'd rather have you dead. The horror of Tejan was only a pale reflection of Seoul, where a great city, the heart of a nation, was ravaged.
And is this how we remember you? Through tedious, vapid perspectives of this abysmal lineage. A few words of grace, feigned progress and healing.
Amen, and of amen.
Sangre, turns to me and says nothing. Nothing was ever promised. But how else can I make sense of this? How else can I make sense of things? What is it you'd really like to say? What is it you'd really like to hear? 원한다면, 원한다면, 뭐든지, 뭐든지.
Hey, what's up, everyone? You're currently tuned into TBD on the live stream here or on KCSB FM 91.9 in Santa Barbara and netnetradio.com out of Tijuana. We have Lucy Liyou from their home in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Actually, I think you said Washington, right?
I'm in Seattle right now. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Out of Seattle currently. So how have you been holding up during quarantine, Lucy? Like, what have you been up to? How have you adapted? How do you like virtual gigs? The world has been pretty chaotic the past couple months, especially for those living in the US.
I mean, no one's booking me, so that's a first. No, no, but like that's expected. I'm a newbie. Like I don't know. I don't expect that kind of stuff. But when you're like virtual gigs, I was like, there are no gigs.
Yeah.
But I'm in school right now. So
Oh, really?
yeah, like grad school online on Zoom University is
Oh,
like
Jesus.
it's awful.
I
So
had just like, skipped past that Zoom University thing. My girlfriend got caught in the very end. And I think Maddie, you were doing Zoom
Yeah.
University for a while, right?
Like, well, now I'm also doing community college, but I did wrap up with Zoom
Yikes.
University. It was terrible.
What are you studying, Lucy? If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to if you don't want to.
no, I'm studying education policy. I'm getting my master's in education policy. If anyone's interested in going into that, don't go into something else. It's just such a bleak field, and I don't know. I went into it with like a lot of hope and like I guess a lot of like naivete, but
Yeah.
I'm like coming out of it like really jaded.
I feel that almost happens when like everybody's in like a certain major. You just like go in with so much hope and then you get into the
know.
academia side of it and you're just like, wow, this is actually not very fun.
No, like this sucks. Yeah, exactly.
So why'd
No.
you choose education policy?
I was always like very interested in education, especially in undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was actually trying to become a teacher, and I was trying to go through like my school's teacher MSCD program.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, my minor had covered a lot of the stuff that I was going to have to retake if I were to do the master's there. So they were like, why don't you just get a different degree and like also go for the teaching certification? And I was like, okay, I'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, what interests you? I was like, yeah, maybe education policy. And so I was like, okay, actually I'll do that and I won't become a teacher.
Yeah.
And look where we are now. Nowhere.
That's funny. So I guess like how do you balance like your music and your schoolwork and stuff being a grad student? I feel like that's probably pretty busy, right?
Yeah, it definitely is. I feel like people think, not that a lot of people email me, but the people who do email me, I think they think I'm purposely ignoring their emails, but a lot of times I'm swamped with school.
Yeah.
So I'm not really checking emails. It's fine. I'm so new.
Mm-hmm.
No one's really contacting me.
Yeah.
So, like I'm just, doing school and like doing like the few music stuff that I'm asked to do. I'm making like I'm handling a lot of different projects right now, which is super exciting. These are all projects that I wanted to be a part of anyway. So just like really excited, really happy. I'm turning 23 next week.
Oh wow.
And
It's all our birthday month
yeah.
It is.
for all of us.
Oh, amazing. Yeah, so I'm just like I'm a kid. I'm a child.
Mhm.
Like I don't have like the craziest expectations, and
Yeah.
I'm just here for like a good time.
I hear you. Real quick on the note of birthdays. So I can't remember. I never know the astrology side of things. Wait, so are you on the Taurus side of April or?
No, I'm an Aries.
Okay, you're in Aries. Okay. All right.
It was my brother's birthday yesterday as well. So
Oh, really?
They just-
Yeah.
there's a lot going on.
No,
Maddie,
yeah. I'm definitely an Aries. I think people who meet me are like, "You're an Aries, right?" It's just so obvious.
That's funny. I believe I fall into like the Tars side. April 23rd, that's Tars,
That is
right?
true. That is true,
Yeah.
Thomas. We are
Okay.
both falling on that side.
Okay, cool. I love
My
that.
best friend is a Taurus, so I don't know why I brought that up. Yeah, my best friend's a Taurus.
Yeah, that's dope. That's sick. I mean, do the same signs get along? So I feel like I don't know.
I don't know,
Taurus.
actually. I feel like I'm not that into it. I just know what I am. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
how I am
that's
too.
it.
That's how I am too. I think I first discovered like what my sign was at like some party in like college or something, and there was somebody just like, going through like, okay, you got to download this app. What was the app called? It's like with the black one with the moon or something.
Like co-star.
Oh, that's
or something
cosine.
like
Yes.
that.
Yeah, co-star, cosine.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, okay, you got to put your birthday in. I'm all texting my mom, like, Mom, what exact time was I born? Like, all that stuff.
No, same. Yeah, my parents don't know.
Oh, really?
My mom passed out after birth. She was like, "Yeah, I definitely don't remember."
Yeah, I just don't know.
It's also not on my birth certificate, so the only ones that I'm like sure of are like my sun sign and my moon sign, and then
Yeah.
everything else is up for grabs.
That's funny. So Maddie, did you wanna start off with some
Oh boy. Oh gosh. Where should we start here? I guess right now, let's go back to a bit of an interview a while ago, because yes, you have mentioned you are new to this, but the source where I think we really got invested in your work does come from Tone Glow and the stuff that Joshua has been putting together. So at that time, because also I guess Tom York had played a role in me ending up finding out about this, the feature that had come on a playlist from a while back.
Yeah.
And I guess though, because in between some of the change of the workers stuff, piano is so essential to this. And though you've kind of been moving away from piano, you've been working with stuff that's decidedly less piano. And I guess I want to know where you stand, at least with electronics at the moment, and integrating that kind of stuff into your work.
Yeah, I mean, I always talk about like piano as my first vessel, first medium, because like that's what I grew up playing. I started playing piano when I was like 5 or 6 and played it competitively for 13 years. So
Oh wow.
I played piano for a very long time.
That's crazy.
And I feel like the more competitive piano got, especially towards like the end of high school, the more I stopped liking it as much. And that's when I started and that's when I started making my own music, and I was making like synth pop. Like it was awful, but I wanted to make music that was so far away from what I was playing. I was playing like classical piano, so I was veering into synth pop, electro pop.
Can we find any of these recordings anywhere?
No, absolutely not. And thank goodness. It's so awful. And I kind of like went through so many different phases where I just kind of wanted to try all these different kinds of sounds and different kinds of styles, depending on what I was listening to, frankly, because my listening habits were changing. And it went from like synth pop, electro pop to like awful like industrial music that like I hope no one finds that ever.
That's sick.
And then to like, I don't know, quote unquote hyper pop. It was very bad all around.
Yeah.
And then I kind of finally settled in where I was like, oh, I would love to do something that just feels like everything is open, like it's limitless, and there's so much space for exploration and possibilities. And that just kind of felt like, okay, well, how about we just try everything we've done before and just stitch it all over the place? And that's kind of how Liyou came to be. So in terms of like, where am I in regards to how much piano I'm playing versus how much electronics I'm using in my music, it's actually veering more towards piano at the moment, because Welfare was like super, I think in my opinion, super electronics based. And so now I'm kind of like moving back into something that I am frankly more used to, and
Yeah.
that has been like a whole experience within itself. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
That's cool. So I guess were you always Philadelphia based, or were you like partly in like Seattle, or is like, you know,
I was born in Philly
okay.
and grew up in Seattle for most of my life, and then went back to Philly for school. So
Okay. So
I
you're
don't know.
yeah. So the Philly thing came from school. But I guess so were you involved in any like music scenes like growing up?
No.
Okay, because like I was gonna ask if like DIY was like something that you were like always a part of, because I feel like getting into like this kind of scene is like a very like niche thing. You know what I'm saying? That I feel like you kind of like gradually go into. Like I find that like a lot of the
Yeah.
people that we have like on the show that are like within this like, quote unquote experimental scene or whatever, were like in bands or something, doing DIY stuff, like playing in punk bands, you know, very DIY, and then slowly started going their own on their own terms, like solo, whatever, picking up new mediums and kind of like
Right.
fell into this experimental scene. So it's really interesting that like, you just didn't have that. So like, how did you, I guess, get into this scene now? You know what I'm saying? Like just being like strictly classically like, competitive piano based,
Yeah. No, I've never been a part of a band. Never. No, like I kind of would love to. I want to know what that's like, but I've never been a part of... No, I do, but like I've never been a part of a band.
Yeah.
So, couldn't speak towards that. I've been to like a handful of like DIY indie shows in Philly, but I was just
Yeah.
I was left like traumatized.
Oh, really?
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Yeah, while I was playing piano competitively in high school, I think because I was kind of falling out of love with it, I was trying to look for other kinds of music that really spoke to me. And it's actually this hilarious, like ridiculous rabbit hole where it was like, I think it was like Mariah Carey. And then I was listening to like quote unquote alternative R&B, which is like the most bull
Yeah.
like genre name ever.
Yeah.
But
Is it PB R&B? Is it that kind of block?
I think so. I don't know actually. I don't know the specifics, but I was listening to FKA Twigs, Kalela, and then that was like my introduction to like what production was for the first time. I didn't understand that production was a thing.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea. And then I like started looking into producers, and so I then got into Arca for the first time, and that's how I found Bjork's music, which is like such a strange like lineage. And then after I found Bjork's music, I got really into like early Bjork because my math teacher was like a huge Bjork fan. But
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then I read an interview that I think Bjork did for The Guardian or something. I don't remember the exact publication, but she did an interview and they asked her like, who is she looking out for? Or that's not the term. It was like, who are you interested in right now?
Yeah.
And she said Klein. And I was like, okay, like let me listen to this person's music because I like Bjork so much. And so I remember I listened to Klein's Only, and I was like, this I was like, this is the most mind-blowing music I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah.
It just completely tore up my conceptualization of like what music was as like a classical pianist. And so not only a classical pianist, but like a music listener of like different kinds of genres too. And so I was so interested in what she was doing. And basically that's kind of what led me into like other quote unquote experimental artists. Sorry, this sun is like pissing me off.
You're good.
But it didn't really venture beyond her. Like she was just like my everything. I was so obsessed with her music, and I actually had a radio show in college with my best friend, and like we would show each other a lot of music, and I played a lot of Klein's music because that was like one of the few, I guess, quote unquote experimental artists that I knew about. But anyway, what happened was I kind of just like I religiously followed her on Instagram, and she released her album in 2019 called Lifetime, which I think is so brilliant. And she did like a brief Q&A on Instagram, and I kind of like jokingly asked her if she would work with me, and she was like, yeah, I like your music. So that's
Oh
kind of
wow.
like how it began. So super random,
That's
like
crazy.
very out of the blue. And
So they knew who you were?
no, they had no idea. They just like really took a chance.
Wow.
So I'm like forever indebted, seriously. And I mean, I still admire her. She actually just released a new project called something R&B. It's brilliant. If you haven't heard it yet, you should absolutely listen to it. I'm a huge fan. But
Yeah,
anyway, that's how it all came to be. So
that's
random.
that's so wild. So,
Yeah.
do you like accredit, I guess, like a lot of your, I guess, coming up in the scene to Klein? Like,
Oh my God, 1,000,000%.
yeah,
Like, if it wasn't for her, like I don't think we'd be speaking. I literally though, like I don't think we'd be
yeah,
speaking.
yeah,
I actually had no idea how you really like released music. I didn't
yeah.
understand like label scenes or whatever. I didn't get that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so she was the first person to kind of guide me through that and tell me like, oh, this is what you got to do, and you need like a
Mm-hmm.
press pick, and like we need like a buy. Like I don't know. I didn't know any of that, and she was like the first like artist, I guess, who really like believed in what I was doing and liked what I was doing. So that
Mm-hmm.
kind of gave me a lot more confidence. I attribute a lot of like what I'm doing right now 100% to her, and definitely
Mm-hmm.
like Joshua
Yeah,
Minsu Kim of Tone Glow.
yeah.
So yeah, I'm like forever indebted.
So, so around like when was this that she was really helping you, put together your work and like figure out like the ins of like this, indie, I guess, music scene or whatever?
Well, it wasn't like specific guidance
Yeah.
necessarily. It was more like hey, like I don't have time to work with you on stuff
Mm-hmm.
because I have so many things I'm juggling, but would you like to release something under my label?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, of course. I was like freaking the
Yeah.
out because I
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
oh, this is like one of my heroes. Like literally, this is one of my heroes. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was like
Yeah.
having a whole moment. And then that was around like August, September. That's not true. Stop lying. Like October of 2019,
Mm-hmm.
around then.
Yeah.
And then I released Welfare through her label the March of 2020. Yeah, that's the timeline. So it's still like relatively
Yeah.
recent.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a very like recent thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Um, so your music is like incredibly emotional, and at times like listening makes me like reflect on like my own sort of experiences in a way. It's like touching. You're also like fairly new to the scene, like we were just saying, like what we were literally just talking about. And a scene that I feel like is dominated by mostly like older white dudes and stuff. Which I feel like is almost like a lot of like the audience as well. Um, your music often reflects concepts and influences specific to like Korean culture. Were you nervous about how your work would like be perceived? Um, I'm kind of curious because like we were just talking about how like when you fell away from playing piano, you started gravitating more towards like you know experimental stuff and like making stuff on your computer because there was a more like freedom of expression. You know what I'm saying? Even though you felt
Yeah.
like you had to be in a genre early on, there was like a lack of like genre constraints. Um,
Yeah.
you know. So was there any like kind of like nervousness or like, what was the audience you had in mind when you started making all this music?
I you not like no audience.
Yeah.
Like I literally didn't think anyone was gonna hear this.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is just like a very pretentious thing to say for someone who like actually has like a following of 10 people. But
Yeah.
no, I genuinely didn't have an audience. This was very
Hmm.
much so for myself.
Yeah.
And I was so influenced by what Klein was doing, and I was really I was rethinking and reconceptualizing what music could be, and like
Hmm.
what music could be for me, and what it meant for me, and what
Hmm.
it represented. And so
Yeah.
um, it was very selfish in a way. Like I did not think about audience. That was not even on my mind. And so when Klein was like, hey, can I help you release this? It didn't even really occur to me that anyone was going to listen to it besides like
Hmm.
maybe a few of her friends, or I don't know. I didn't really think about it.
Yeah.
my friends would joke about like my friends would joke and be like, "You're gonna make it now," whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, those were like clear jokes because like I don't know how you guys feel about artists recommending other artists, but do you follow that? I just wasn't sure if people were very receptive to that at all. So in my mind, it was like, no one's really going to listen to this anyway.
Yeah.
So I wasn't worried
Mhm.
at all. Like I wasn't.
Yeah.
I'll chime in a little bit because there's been a few threads in these conversations. The talk about label culture, and that's something where I guess for me and for Thomas as well, that's very important. And
Yeah.
I do writing for Tabs Out, and so I've been getting sent stuff from Full Spectrum, and I've got again the Rosé tape with Maury's, the stick control drum.
Amazing.
And patience, and all of these, again, I give a lot of kudos as well to Andrew Weathers for really, I think, letting just the design of these tapes, letting artists go wherever they want, because all of these, again, are great recontextualizations of music, of wherever you want to go with it. But yours in particular, having all of, I think, the lyrics printed in kind of a zine book format, this is really, really the kind of like cornerstone in a lot of stuff that's Full Spectrum's been doing at the moment. And so I've really just kind of like, what was it like to go to Andrew and kind of maybe get this going as well for practice?
Yeah, wow. I mean, first of all, I worship Andrew and I worship Gretchen mainly because, like, I mean, not only do I think they're brilliant, but they're just some of the nicest people I've ever met. And they've been so helpful with everything. They're really sweet and I don't know. I love them so much. But yeah, Andrew was the first person who reached out to me and asked if I wanted to release something through Full Spectrum after I put out Welfare, and I think that was in like June. Like, no one was really asking me if I wanted to put something out, which I expected. Like once again, I thought it was the beginning of the end.
Yeah, you're like one hit wonder. Here we go.
Yeah. And so I was just so excited with that opportunity. I was like, oh God, like, what does it have to be? I was asking all these questions. Like, do you have like ideas of like what it should be? And Andrew was very open and said, do whatever you want. It just has to be like this long to be a tape or whatever. And so basically I pretty much had like full creative control over everything from like the music to like the layout, because they were all asking me questions and saying, does this look good? Like, is this what you want? And I was like, yeah, it's beautiful, whatever. Like, I don't know anything about design or like visuals. I was like, this is beautiful. I'm just happy to have this out. So yeah, we met because Andrew was the first person who asked me if I wanted to put something out after Klein. So another person I'm like forever indebted to. I love Andrew though. I don't know if you guys have ever talked to Andrew. Just
we need to.
Yeah, maybe we should have Andrew on the show.
You have to. I'm like obsessed with that man and his wife, like just amazing.
Going sidetrack, I guess, into Andrew's work, I just found his like country record or something, like I forget what it's called. I sent it to Maddie last night, but he like released this like country record. It's honestly so sick. It's like
I haven't heard it. You have to send it to me.
It's like ambient country. I'll send it to you. It's honestly sick.
There's a track on there for Windham Hill, and that's just again that label that always played very fancy guitar music you could fall asleep to.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh hi Andrew, good call.
Oh my God, wow. Yeah, no, I think he's like eternally brilliant. He's also just like so humble, which pisses me off because he's so good. Like, you can be a dick, you know that? Like, you're allowed to be a dick.
Dude, Andrew also masters like literally everybody in the scene's record. I feel like Andrew's always in the liner notes for like everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, God. I mean, he's really good at it.
Yeah,
he's also just like really great to work with, so of course.
Wow.
Yeah. So, everyone in that like friend group and scene, I like really worship. And like they were the first people to be like really nice about my music and reach out to me and
they're
stuff.
like, this is sick, like,
yeah, so like Maurice, Mari, Claire, Andrew, Gretchen, Nick, like Joshua, Sonic, like the rest of them, like I worship all of that. And I genuinely mean this when I say that I think this group of people are making some of the best music right now.
Oh, they
without
are.
a shadow of a
Yeah.
doubt. So
100%. You hear
Yeah.
I have got the early release of Claire's new album, and there are some very, very good ideas on here.
no, Claire's a genius. They're all insane though.
You guys
I
hear
like
that?
don't the funniest thing is like when I'm about to work on something and they'll send me something and be like, what do you think? And of course I listen to it and I'm like, yeah, I'm not working on music right
Yeah,
now.
you're just like, okay, I'm
Like, are
done.
you kidding
Yeah,
me?
my music wouldn't come anywhere near this. I'm sure it does though. Your music is sick, Lucy. I wouldn't think that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess like, did you have a concept in mind? Like you said that Andrew gave you like total, I guess, creative freedom over like what your record would be. Did you know where you were gonna go coming from your previous record?
Um,
Did you have like, I
Not
guess, like a
really.
creative direction?
Like not really. I mean, I had ideas, sure. I was like, maybe this is where I could go,
Mm-hmm.
but they were never like strongly formulated.
Yeah.
And then I just had like that big life event, and I was kind of
Yep.
like,
Yeah.
I didn't even think, oh, this is what my tape is going to be about. It was
Mhm.
just like, I need to make something about this only for me to process what's going on. And so that's kind of how it started. And then I was like, maybe I'll just turn this into Andrew. And Andrew was like, yeah, I like this.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how it.
A question about, because involving, I had read bits about this, and there was a quarantine process with all of this. So in that time, where were you staying, and what were you doing, like at least culture-wise, like reading or watching to keep yourself from maybe not going or exploding?
Well, so I feel like this has been kind of confusing for people. And also, it was not like very clear in the album either. So it's no one's fault. But my mom was the one who was in quarantine. My mom flew to Korea and she was in quarantine for 2 weeks. And I was home.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma's in Korea, and I was home back here in Seattle with my family. So that was the situation. I mean, I wasn't in quarantine, so I was not really like doing anything. I think my mom said she just ate a lot, watched a lot of TV.
Yeah.
But we were all very much so on edge. Like we weren't even thinking about how hard the quarantine itself was going to be. We were just very worried about grandma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about this like briefly like before like we started talking, but you premiered some new stuff on like the live stream performance. Like what can you tell us about that? Like why did you go towards a new thing as opposed to, performing your old work?
Yeah. I mean, first of all, I hate performing my old work only because I think because it's recorded, like, it's gonna sound bad anyway. Like it's not gonna sound like the original or whatever.
Yeah.
Which I know is like not a good mindset to have when performing anything.
Mm-hmm.
But when I was like filming myself and when I was recording, it just felt very off. When I didn't feel happy with what I was doing, I didn't feel happy, period. I was just feeling a lot, experiencing a lot with all the anti-Asian hate crimes that were happening across the United States. And so I actually listened to Patrick Shiraishi's album.
Yes.
God, what was it called? Like, I shouldn't have to worry when my parents go outside or something like that.
Yeah, I think that's what it was called.
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, great record. And I was thinking like, yeah, wow, this is like very beautifully done. But I also felt like there was a perspective. Obviously, like his music can't capture like every perspective, and the perspective that he captured was one that I think is really essential. And I think because he captured that feeling, that thought, that concept, I was able to like think about my experience with what was going on, and think about like the conversation I was having. And so I made a new piece that I'm premiering, and I talked to Patrick about it. Actually, I was like, Patrick, you're the reason why this piece is happening.
Yeah.
I know, because seriously, like he's so brave to put something out like that, and it's not that I wanted to like add to that or like get on that train or whatever. It was just like, we all need moments of release. And I was like, yeah, if someone that I revere like Patrick can do it, like maybe I can do it too. And so I'm premiering like a 22, 23-minute piece. And yeah, I'm excited. It's very personal once again. Like, God, I was talking to Patrick about this. I don't know how he does it. I don't know how others do it, but I get really nervous when I talk about ideas in such broad terms.
Yeah.
Like, Patrick does it so effortlessly with his speakers and with his musical ideas. It's like, it's genius. And I can't do that. Everything has to come back to like my experience in the personal, because that's the best way, or at least the optimal way for me to kind of channel certain ideas and emotions. But yeah, so it's very personal. And yeah, God. Anyway, if you haven't heard the Patrick record, you should. Like, it's amazing.
Yeah. That's cool. I love that you pulled some I guess, what's the word, inspiration from Patrick's record, because, you know, like you're saying, amazing. Everything Patrick does, amazing, dude. Patrick is good at conveying ideas through his music. You know what I'm saying? And
like annoyingly good.
Yeah, it's insane.
The first time I met Patrick was at a Los Angeles Godspeed concert in 2019, and he was opening for Godspeed and doing his ideas with two different cassette releases that were wildly different from each other. And I've been interested because he's also been adding a lot of field recordings, his own, you know, speakers or pieces that, especially throughout 2019, he didn't always see.
Yeah. I mean, once again, I'm very new to this. I didn't know about so many artists until like I actually quote unquote like came on the scene and like met people. And by the way, meeting them all virtual. Like, I've never met any of them.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like Patrick and Sonic are like two people I really revere to like the highest degree in music. Not only in this scene, but music period. Like, their ideas are not only genius, but when I say ideas, I mean like musical ideas. Not only are the musical ideas genius, but everything that informs their music, unbeatable. I'm like always in awe, and not that anything's a comparison, but they're truly like godly to me, and I'm like right here. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know if you guys listen to Sonic's music, but also
I actually don't know if I'm familiar with Sonic, to be completely honest. What can you tell me about Sonic? Yeah, who is Sonic?
Sonic is an artist based in, I almost said California. My mind is all over the place. Based in New York.
Okay.
And they make all kinds of music. So I can't really like pinpoint what kind of music they make, but they have this album called Zero Chime. It's incredible. It's like noise, free jazz.
That's awesome.
It's like, you know what's really funny is Sonic and Nick Zanka in particular.
Yep.
I played their music. I played their music on my college radio show before I ever met them. They were just like huge to me. And I don't know. I can't believe like I have their numbers and I talk to them. I know that's so corny and like so like childish, but I'm such a huge fan.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So anyway, please listen to Sonic's music. I'll send you guys the link.
Yeah, please do. Please shoot it our way. I'm also curious about like your radio show. Can you talk more about like your experience with like community radio? I always love having people on the show that, you know, did what we do.
I know.
Yeah, it's always really great, and I had no idea that you did community radio. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I did community radio at my college with my best friend. I don't know if she wants me to say her name, so I won't say her name.
Yeah.
But I did it with my best friend, and we did it for like 3.5 years. almost before like the coronavirus like cut us off. But
Yeah.
I love the experience, and I was always a music fan, but to do that with her and to like look into a lot of music with her and share a lot of music with her, it was a space and a community that I didn't know that I valued so much. And it's
Yeah.
one that I really miss, honestly. Like I miss doing that with her all the time. And I always talk about like, oh, we should do something like that, but no one's going to hear it anyway. So we're like, how are we, like, what should we try next?
Yeah.
But yeah, oh, just like a great time. We never really got to like, we're not doing what you guys are doing, like interviewing artists. I think we interviewed one band, or maybe she interviewed two. But yeah, we just played a lot of music with each other and like talked a lot.
Yeah. The music discovery and like the community, I feel like is just, amazing. Like
Yeah.
I feel like I credit just like meeting so many people. Like I met Maddie there, and like we talked about like music, all this other type of stuff, and just the community is so great. What was your show?
Yeah.
What was your show called?
It was called Beef.
That's sick.
There we
Yeah.
go.
I think at first it was like it was an acronym for something eating fries. Like I don't remember. It was like excited eating fries, I'm pretty sure. It was just like nonsensical. We were just like having fun, and
I love that, dude. I love that. That's always like the best when community radio is the best. You can literally just name your show something like that.
Yeah.
It's just so sick.
Winners take all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, it was fun. I don't know about her specifically, but because like I came from Seattle, I was a huge fan of KXP.
Oh yeah.
And so like to do like a radio thing was just so cool.
Yeah.
Like 'cause I was like so into KXP and stuff.
What was your station's call letters or whatever, or like your frequency?
WQHS. We had a frequency, but I think when we joined, it was all internet radio.
Oh,
at that
really?
point.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't remember like what the previous frequency was though.
That's cool. Yeah. So I guess that does it for about mine and Maddie's questions. Did you have anything else, Maddie, or should we go into some fan questions?
Fan questions? Like who?
You got a good amount.
We got so many celebs.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my god.
We had so many fan questions that we had to pick and choose.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. Anyways, so I guess we'll go into it. We had a couple from Patrick actually. Patrick
Really?
Shushi. Yeah, dude. Big fan. Patrick's a big fan. So we'll start off with Patrick's first one. Ramen or udon?
Ramen.
Why?
Definitely. Actually, hold on. It would actually have to be udon, because like curry udon, I think is like an elite dish. That's an elite dish. Like,
whoa.
So I would actually have to say udon.
Yeah.
Yeah, capital E.
Oh my.
I'm personally a ramen fan, but also I don't think I've had enough udon to like answer this question, I feel like. But as of right now, I feel like ramen is always the way to go. But I guess I'm gonna have to try more udon. I'm gonna have to try curry udon specifically.
So good.
If it's that good. I'm gonna have to go for that. So here's another one from Patrick. If you can be an animal, what animal would you be? I know this is a hard one.
I probably have to say, yeah, I probably have to say rabbit.
Why?
I don't know. I've always been told I look like a rabbit, so that's just like the easy go-to that I have.
Yeah,
they're cool. I think rabbits are cool.
Rabbits are sick, dude.
Yeah.
Rabbits are really cool, and the craziest rabbit that I ever saw, they honestly kind of scared me. But it was when I was up in like Northern California. I was camping at this like place called Lava Beds, and
yeah.
Dude, there's like these huge jackrabbits. These things are monsters, dude. Like they look like the size of like a small medium dog. You know what I'm saying? Like
no way.
Dude, they're monsters. I'm not even kidding. They're huge. Have you guys ever seen like a jackrabbit, like a hare, whatever it's called? Like they're monsters. They're just hopping around with their huge ass feet, and I'm just like, dude, like this is kind of
That's actually
weird.
terrifying.
It's
Yeah.
kind of scary, right? And
Yeah.
I know they wouldn't do anything, but I was like, dude, why are you such a monster? Like, what are you eating, dude? Like, like we're in like a lava-filled desert. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Literally, yeah. No,
Oh,
but
no.
look at that versatility. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I want
for
to be a
real,
rabbit.
for real, dude. Yeah, rabbits are dope. Maddie, what animal would you go for?
I'd go for a wolf. Big
Yeah.
wolf.
I feel that, dude.
Already had thought that one through way before. We got it. In the books.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a furry answer.
Yeah, that is.
But I'm not. Thank you for the concern, but no.
Oh my god. That is so good. Oh, that's hilarious, dude. I personally think I would go for a bear just because they can sleep for so long, dude. And
Like mega dangerous.
yes, they're just dope. And okay, so I've been reading a lot about like the Chumash, which is like the Native American people or like the indigenous people to like, you know, Ventura, Santa Barbara counties and stuff. And before like people populated this area like heavily, you know, there was bears that walked around here. Isn't that insane, Manny? Imagine
No, that is insane.
imagine a bear just walking around Santa Barbara, dude. Like
Have you heard of the story of the like libertarian utopia that got overrun by bears?
No.
I don't know why I just thought about
This
that.
sounds insane.
Are
Are you gonna tell the story?
This is what happened.
No, like, yeah.
Wait, so how did that happen, Manny?
Oh, it was a case of, again, a bunch of men really wanted there just to be a libertarian, get off my lawn. We're not paying taxes. Let me just, you know, shoot my guns in my backyard. And as a result of not funding anything, they kept
Oh my
having
God.
bear migration populations coming into their town, eating their dogs, going through their trash.
That's honestly kind of sad, but like good for the bears, dude. Like that's kind of cool.
Good for the bear. That's what happens if you're libertarian. Really tragic.
Yeah, seriously, don't. So, here's another one. Another fan question. So, what new music is on the horizon?
Who asked this, by the way?
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah, this is.
Oh,
another-
really?
Yeah, this is a random person.
Well, I don't.
Like, I'm sure that's like a friend trolling because like who's asking for new music? I have music coming. Like,
That's great to hear.
yeah, no, I mean, I have like I have music coming. I don't know, like things aren't finalized yet, so I don't know like what I can say, but I have music coming.
That's what we like to hear. We're looking forward to that new music, and shout out the fan that asked that. I love how whenever somebody is asked this question, you're like, who? What fan? Who would ask that? That's
No,
so
because
funny.
I'm like, I know that's like a friend like
That's so
trolling.
That's so funny. Is the automated voice a way of distancing yourself from events or making them accessible?
What? What? Like, like I'm like, what? Yeah, it can be that. I think that's not its sole purpose, but
Yeah.
it's definitely like a part of it for sure.
Okay.
I'm like surprised, like wow, like what an insightful question.
Right? The fans are curious.
Could I ask one question off of that though, that I'm just
Sure.
thinking of on the spot? So with again the automated voice though, who is your favorite automated voice of, you know, the Microsoft kind of cast, Microsoft Sam and all of those types?
Yeah, Samantha for sure.
Mm.
Samantha's my favorite.
Yes.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, Samantha.
Is Samantha the one you used on your record?
Yes.
Okay,
I
tight.
always use Samantha.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's sick.
Yeah. Like very typical white woman voice.
Oh
Yes,
yeah.
Samantha.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love it though.
And it's just a tad bit of production. Just a little dash of production. You can go places. I always loved every time it slowed down a little bit. It had a very 80s text adventure game feel sometimes.
Yeah.
Kudos.
Thank you.
So, what's your guilty pleasure?
My guilty pleasure? What are these questions? Like, like I don't think about this ever.
This is so
My
funny. I
guilty
love this.
Oh, it is not a guilty pleasure because I'm very proud of it actually, but I'm a huge like Real Housewives fan. So I watch a ton of Real Housewives.
Yeah.
Not all the franchises because I think some of them are not so great,
Hmm.
but I have my favorites. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is there a season and of a certain show that you'd shout out?
I love New Jersey with like all my heart. Like those are the girls that like I actually care about, which is so funny. Like I really want the best for them. So, I like all the New Jersey seasons, frankly. It gets a little tedious here and there because it's like the same fights, but
Yeah.
I love New Jersey.
That's sick. Okay, so we have one more.
Okay.
Are you a TikToker?
I am a watcher. I don't make my own TikToks.
You should.
I could never.
you should-
That's a whole different level of genius that I could never attain.
So I had someone on my show. Shout out Caleb from his project. Hey, I love you. But he is involved in like the DIY, like emo kind of like indie rock type scene, and he says that there's an indie or an emo TikTok. Do you think that an experimental TikTok could be a thing? What do you
I'm
guys?
sure there is something like that out there.
An experimental TikTok? What do you think that would
Do you
look like?
use TikTok?
Every now and then, like early
I guess
quarantine,
definitely
like
just one,
April.
That's it.
What were you
I
saying?
mean, I was
Ian?
just gonna say like there are spaces for everything on
Oh,
TikTok.
literally, it's insane.
It's
Yeah,
like Reddit.
yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like, there's a space for everything.
It literally is. Um,
I think there probably is something like that. I do not. Every time I see like a music related TikTok, I always press the like not interested button.
do you really? That's so funny.
Yeah. Like I'm there to watch like cooking videos and like
Oh yeah, dude.
people playing horror games on Twitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like nothing else. So
Dude, I have the
Yeah.
most random story about cooking TikTok. But so me and my girlfriend were camping in Death Valley, right? And
Yeah.
we're just like cooking some dinner at night, and then some guy just walks up out of nowhere, and like obviously I'm just a little like standoffish because he's like, "Hey, can I boil some water? I left my stove at like the like previous town." And I'm like,
oh my god.
yeah, I'm just like, yeah, sure, dude. The fire is burning over there, but like, don't get too close to me. We're in like a pandemic and stuff. I'm just like, yeah, dude, like you can go over. And anyways,
Yeah.
he's just like making small talk with us, and then like nothing's really like starting, and he's just like, "Do you guys use TikTok?" And we're just like, "Bro, you're like 50 something, man." Like, and he was just "Yeah, I love TikTok. Like, I'm all about it. Like, I've tried so many new recipes from like TikTok," and I'm just like, "Who is this guy? Like, what the?"
Wow.
It was sick, dude. It was sick. TikTok is really for everybody.
It sounds like a
really is.
let's not meet story on like Reddit. Like, I don't know if you guys use Reddit, but like that sounds exactly like a let's not meet Reddit story.
I'm actually not familiar with that sub. Like, what is it?
Oh my god, it's so good. It's all these like quote unquote true stories. Actually, I do believe a lot of them, but it's like these true stories that people submit
Yeah.
of like very scary experiences with other people.
Yeah.
And like the whole idea is like at the end of each story, they're like, so XXX, like whoever, like let's not meet again or
Yeah.
whatever. It's really entertaining. And there are like short ones and like super long ones. So like
Yeah.
whatever you're interested in. That sounds like a classic. I mean, if it went wrong,
Yeah.
that sounded fine. But if
Yeah.
it went wrong, it sounds like a classic let's not meet story.
I'm gonna have to listen to, or not listen. I'm gonna have to check out that sub, dude. I love those subs where people like tell like true
So
stories and
good.
stuff. It's so entertaining, but I always see people in the comments like, fake. This is so fake. This is so fake. But dude,
Who
I feel like I
cares?
believe so many of them though until I see somebody comment this is fake. Then I'm just like, oh, you're right. Maybe this could be. But like before that, I'm just
Oh,
like,
do you think that?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. It's crazy. Sometimes they're so wild. I'm just like,
No, they are.
You
They
know?
are like, yeah.
Sometimes-
What are the
I
codifiers?
Yeah, and sometimes you're like, I do wish this was fake because this sounds horrible.
oh,
Like, I hate that this
100%.
happened to
You know, some of them I read and I'm just like, damn, this like played out too perfectly in a very bad way. You know, like this
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, yeah.
You know, like this is, yeah. Anyway.
Or sometimes like this sounds like years of therapy.
Oh my God,
Congratulations.
for
Yeah.
real, dude. People will like say things on there and I'm just like, why is that so heavy? You know what I'm saying?
Like, are you really comfortable sharing all
yes,
that
dude.
to this sub?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah, for real. Or the people that are like, this is the first time I'm telling anybody this. And I'm just like,
then why?
yeah, I'm like, okay.
And then I read it anyway. And
Oh,
I'm like,
yeah. Oh,
ugh.
yeah, dude. Yeah. Sometimes I feel like they mess me up a little bit. And I'm like, okay, enough of my phone for a little while, you know? Like,
Have you ever watched like the YouTube animations of like Let's Not Meet stories or whatever?
no, I didn't know that was a thing, but that sounds terrifying.
Oh my God. It's like not terrifying really, but it's like entertaining because you
Yeah.
hear someone like reading it out loud and like it's just very basic animations. It's
Yeah.
fun. Yeah. That's probably another guilty pleasure of mine.
It just let's not meet YouTube animation videos.
Yeah.
Everybody listening to this right now is gonna have to watch those and report back. Let us know how they are.
Please.
So, what were you saying, Maddie?
Oh, I was saying hustle. We need to get that hustle.
Yeah. So I think that just about does it. Did you have any last remarks you want to put into the airwaves or archives? Where can people keep up with your projects?
I have a band camp.
Oh heck yeah!
No,
Do
like,
you
I have a band
one
camp.
question about the Bandcamp? One question. Do you think there's going to be a repress of Patience on your Bandcamp?
No,
I would buy it.
I don't think so. Who's asking for? There were like two people, and they had already bought the tape, so I was like, "Stop."
I mean, if there's a repress, I would buy it. I would be a customer. I was gonna buy, and I put it off too long, and then I think you got featured on Bandcamp, and I was like, "Damn, it's gone," or something. Right? Didn't you get a Bandcamp feature or something like that?
Honestly, like, I was very surprised that it sold out. So, yeah. I mean, that was like honestly like such a major surprise. So
Yeah.
Andrew asked me, and I was like, "Let's not." Andrew asked me, he was like, "Want to do a repress?" And I was like, "This is really stressful. Like, can we not?"
Yeah. That's so funny. So do you have like social media or anything people can keep up with?
Yeah, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter under Lucy Liyou. Liyou spelled Liyou. Yeah, that's like pretty much it.
There we have it. Follow Lucy on their social medias and their Bandcamp, and buy their digital music. And if there's ever a repress, we'll probably see it there or something. We'll see.
Yeah.
Actually, we have one more question. Maddie, do you want to hit them with it?
Oh, Thomas, I guess I'll have to do it. Okay. This is our classic question because a rat is going to jump in your mouth. It's just going to happen. We're so sorry. We cannot stop it from happening. But you do have an option here. Head or butt. And why are you choosing that?
I would definitely say head, so I could like. Wait. Okay. Wait. Sorry. The rat that's going in my mouth, like, am I digesting that, or like, can I spit it out?
This
like,
is totally up to you. The scenario is entirely up to you.
either way, it would be the head. I don't know.
Why?
Like, having a rat's ass in my mouth sounds like pretty terrible. And also, like, if I were to digest this rat, like, I would rather just kill it immediately with like one chomp and like not have it squirm in my mouth.
I hear that.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I have to say it because I always do, but I always go with the vegan answer. I usually take it butt first, calm it down, pet its head, put it underneath my hat, and then we're gonna go and cook some ratatouille or something.
Oh wait, that's really cute. I should have said that.
Isn't it? I know. No, everybody thinks like immediately just bite its head off. It's done. You know, I'm not gonna have to worry about it.
Yeah.
Anyways, so I think that's all we have for today. Thanks for tuning into TBD on KCSB FM 91.9 every Sunday 4 to 6 p.m. and NetNet Radio every Saturday 8 p.m. This is Lucy Liyou. Thanks for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.